Welcome back to Views with Houston and Jennifer News. This is Jerome Houston. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. All right, so coming from Fandom Wire, some Lightyear news. So we have here where it says, still not seeing where they went wrong. Pixar boss puts sole blame for Chris Evans' Lightyear rendition failing on unrealistic expectations. There was a disconnect. So in other words, I'm going to make this long story short. Basically, going to go on ahead and do some fan blaming or audience blaming, if you will. So in other words, this is where they look to blame the audience. I'm not sure if they're blaming the audience or not, but it seems to me they might be blaming the audience. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm going to fast forward down here where he actually made the comment itself says on a budget of about $200 million, Lightyear made approximately $226 million globally, which is not good. These are good numbers, as they claim, but way below what's expected from a franchise whose last movie, Toy Story 4, released in 2019, grossed more than $1 billion at the box office. Peter Docter, a Pixar executive and thrice winner of the Best Animated Feature Oscar, says that fan expectations made the movie tank in an interview with The Wrap, where he said when they hear Buzz, they're like, great, where's Mr. Potato Head and Woody and Rex? And then we drop them into this science fiction film that they're like, what? I think the way that the characters were drawn, that they were portrayed, it was much more of a science fiction. I think there was a disconnect between the people wanted and expected and what we were giving them. Basically, they assumed that we were going to think that we were looking for another Toy Story movie. No, people who were actually been Buzz Lightyear fans over the years and everything were expecting something similar to the series Buzz Lightyear Star Command from the 90s or the early 2000s, if you remember. Okay, so I was a kid at the time. Even I watched that. I was even expecting that, but that's not what was put out there. No, it was just a current day Disney versatile rendition of Lightyear. In other words, the Chris Evans version. So it just goes further into detail explaining how the audience that are the blame to it. But here's the thing though, the only people that are part of the audience that didn't like it were the critics. Okay. Then you also have the fact that the very definition of audience, a group of people coming to see a particular performance or display. Okay. You can't blame those who didn't show up for the movie failing so hard because they're not a part of the audience. All right. And also, and last I checked, Lightyear, not only Pixar, but Disney, they shouldn't talk about anywhere where it talks about, criticizing people for the backlash of a particular group. And in this case, the LGBTQ community, because guess what? The scenes in their movies that they have LGBTQ representation, that's not shown in China. When the films air in China, as a matter of fact, if not the one reason why their movies were banned in China in the first place, because of that. And they shouldn't have any talk about any backlash about the LGBTQ representation in their movies and shows because they won't even show them in China because of the fact that they're trying to get more money. They're trying to not only get more money, but also try to get more, influence over China and its citizens, but the CCP ain't having that. Oh no. So the article goes on saying Lightyear released in 2022 is a Toy Story spinoff and turns the franchise into a new direction. Instead of exploring the toy Buzz Lightyear stories, the movie humanized him and gave him a backstory of Space Ranger in the film where he investigates the happenings of a planet called Takani Prime. So basically, it seems to me that this whole thing is basically an apology tool for something that failed and you can't really correct. But the only way to correct this is by bringing back Tim Allen. And even a lot of mainstream media outlets who are biased claiming that he's pretty controversial. He's only controversial because of the fact that he aligns himself in a different political band than they do. He's controversial because of the fact that he votes differently than they do. Okay? That's all it is. But other than that, everyone speculated as to why Lightyear fought that box. It wasn't only, virtue signaling, but also the story wasn't good. Chris Evans criticizing people who didn't want to see the movie or criticize the movie. Chris Evans, the same Captain America that the fans enjoyed, who loved as an actor, went against the movie or chose not to see the movie because of the fact that he simply called people idiots. Just for calling fans idiots just for actually truly, honestly critiquing a movie that was meant for them to see. But let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Is this going a bit overboard, or was this right? Was the producer actually correct in admitting that the movie itself was a failure? Let me know in your comments below. Also, let me know what went wrong in the video. And if you have any additional thoughts to contribute, go ahead and provide those in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed what I said in the video, along in the commentary, go ahead and smash that like button. Also, if you enjoyed all the content I put out there, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification, so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Until then, peace.